Hello everyone. How many of you wish you had a better idea of running a small business smoothly and successfully and want to feel more confident and self-motivated? Well, for all this, stay plugged with us at the Vuzel TV. For the next few minutes, where I, your show host Rags, will be talking to the Dimple Dhalwani from the podcast The Dimple Way. Dimple, alongside of running her own podcast, is an international influencer, a brand consultant, a social media and a PR expert. And the list is even going longer now. Thank you for being with us on this exciting chat show where our team at the Vuzel TV headhunts and showcases some real voices on this very real and raw show which we call The Rags Show. So Dimple, please tell us a little about yourself and where does all your passion come from to do things the Dimple way?
Before I start, thank you so much, Rags and the Vuzel TV, to have me on your show. It's been a great pleasure. I believe that the fact that I'm very curious and I'm an avid global traveler is what brings all, everything that I'm passionate about into the Dimple way. So
interesting.
It's kind of something like, even if I'm traveling from point A to point B, I will pick something up that I could fuse into, doing things the Dimple way or giving that experience to people when they, or like when they come across what the Dimple way can be through different arenas or services that they hire. So I think it's also something that I'm constantly wanting to learn. Like any new thing I want to learn. Like previously we were talking.
Yeah.
Thank you. Previously we were talking about before we got onto the show, and there was so many new things, like the way we shoot here, the way we shoot otherwise. So there are new things that you keep picking on, and that I think that bringing that into the whole experience is what I believe makes the Dimple way also stand out.
Lovely. I'm sure my viewers already know why I have you on my set here today, and they already feel the vibe that's coming out of this interview. So my next question to you is, now owning and running a business, it's a frightening thought, right, for most people, especially when you consider how many problems you might face along the way.
Right.
So what are a few of your top Dimple tips for us city's budding entrepreneurs who want to take their first step in this world of trade and business?
So I believe the first and the foremost important step for budding entrepreneurs is to have a mentor. Because what happens is we think that we know what we want to do, we have an excellent plan, we've done our research. But when you go up to a mentor, they will give you real life examples, they will give you real life experiences, and they will train you along the path. Like you might think that, okay, if you're starting a branding business, okay, you need a team, you need this, but they will get into the intricate details and explain you why a finance team is important, or why having a certain number of people in your graphic design team is important, how you even manage your staff, your staff that is going to run around to get things done. So I think apart from that, their expertise, their years of experience is what brings together everything, where it's like, how you say you go to school to learn. So have a mentor who's going to teach you along the way so that you don't make mistakes that you can avoid, and if you fall, you have someone who can quickly pull you back.
Such a classic example. Sorry, I have to interrupt. Such a classic example when you say, when you talk about school.
Right.
And completely relates, in the mind. Go on.
Because, you are going to fall. Falling is inevitable.
Absolutely.
How you get up after the fall and push yourself forward to take the next move is very important. And I feel the mentor is really someone who kind of gives you the push but also lets you find your own way. So it's important to pick who your mentor is. That would be my point number one, and something that I feel you have to have. And the second one, I think, and I believe, is a lot of planning. Like you cannot just wake up one day and be like, I saw this idea, I think it's going to get done. No, sit down, plan, research, work out your costs, see which people you need to bring on board, because forming a team is also very important.
Right.
You have to be on the same page, on the same vibe. There are going to be disagreements in your team, within your team, and that's when, you have to realize that disagreements is important because it gives everyone different perspectives and different avenues to look at things.
Absolutely.
Coming back and working again together as a team is very important. So how you pick your team, character of the, the character, the personality, everything is extremely
I love
important.
how you've related this, and it all sounds so simple.
Right.
It sounds like it's just out there, and I can actually imagine myself picking my right team and clubbing my vibes. Well, I'm glad I'm here at the Vusil TV. So, do you want to say anything more, or should we jump on to our next?
We can definitely move on to the next question.
So, coming up with an innovative business idea may seem like the perfect opportunity to increase your revenue and grow your organizations.
Right.
But have you stopped to consider what some risks are in a new venture, and how do we really know our appetite for our individual risk-bearing ability, and what really the roadblocks are that we need to keep a lookout for when we're doing this?
So I think our appetite is something that comes from how passionate you are about this field, and I'm going to keep emphasizing passion because it's not necessary, passion is also something that you can develop. Like if you like, let's say you love this blue bowl and you feel that you could do something out of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a simple design, but how can you make this or sell it to someone in a beautiful package that will also give them an experience? That is something you need to be passionate about, curating an experience for people. So it's not necessary what product could be important, you will learn that. You've got different products. If you're passionate enough to create an experience, that's your appetite. But if I give you this product and you're going to be like, oh, it's just a blue bowl, it doesn't look fancy, how are we going to create an experience? That's where this is not the appetite
it's just gonna go out of the door.
And you're just going to push yourself, and after 2 months you'll get up and this is not what I wanted to do. So that is point one. And I think the next point is just get on to internships, talk to people, try picking up projects to understand if you really love the field and have an appetite for it. Because a lot of times, like when I was younger, I'll share an experience with you.
Please.
I was 14 and I got up one day and I told my dad, I want to become a hairstylist. And he goes like, okay. He's like, do you know it involves a lot of things, like how you use the scissors, how you use this. Of course, I was 14 and I found it wow, it's so nice to go to a salon, create an experience for people. But when I actually started training with my hairstylist, that's when I realized I don't enjoy taking scissors and cutting someone's hair. I'm not
too much risk.
I don't think even about risk. I just wasn't comfortable touching other people's hair. I'm like, oh, this hair is dirty. I'm not going to shampoo this hair. I have OCD and I'm like a cleanliness freak. And I was like, no, this is not meant for me. So you could believe that you're meant for something, but till you don't try it out, you'll never know if you're really meant for it. So that is one way of reducing risk. And another very important pitfall that we all come into is finances. We do not plan our finances.
So glad you spoke about this.
And we've kind of always taken it for granted that we'll have a finance team.
Right.
But having a finance team and actually getting onto that page and understanding your finances is very, very important. We also don't kind of realize that we need to keep a reserve of, there are times when we feel like, okay, this is our budget and this is this thing, but what about the reserve? There could, like for example, a pandemic came in, the COVID took away so many, not only small scale businesses, but even big scale businesses. Were we prepared for that? No. But probably people who had planned and knew their finances could cope up and, navigate and figure through their way. So I think financial planning is very, very important. And I don't mean only in terms of expenses, I mean even in terms of investments. So when you're making profits, how do you invest that correctly so that you can make a better future for your team as well? Because you will use a certain part of finances to upgrade the skills of your team, upgrade your skills, upgrade your products.
Right.
So and plus go back, make good investments for your personal self. So I think personal investments and business investments are very, very important. And that is something that you have to be prepared for.
And we should treat them always as two different aspects, right? We never club them together.
Never.
So I want you to say this on air today to all our, all the generations watching.
Right.
That there's always a different box for
Personal investments.
and yeah.
Like you mentioned, Rags, I completely believe in it, personal investments and business investments. And it's very, very important because sometimes we just be like, okay, we're a family-run business or we're a small entrepreneur. Everything's kept in the center.
That's why I said, yeah.
And we're like, okay, today it's our person, like, we're going out and we want to purchase something or we're having a good experience. We don't realize when that gets depleted. So then either you don't have a lot of expenses left to push back into your business, or if you're just expending on your business, you don't have enough expenses left for your personal life. So I feel it's very important to categorize personal expenses, business expenses.
Yeah, and I have no shame saying this on air. I definitely had that aha moment where I went like, aha, there, it's all gone.
You did?
I did, and that's why I said we must say it on air. So let's move onward now.
Sure.
Now, research of successful entrepreneurs has documented that successful small business people have certainly some common characteristics.
Right.
Right? This checklist cannot predict success, as we know, but it can give us an idea of whether you will have a head start or a handicap or which to work at.
Right.
So what kind of people really make successful entrepreneurs?
In my opinion, I totally believe the people who make mistakes, who fall down, and who you would probably call the loser is who actually go on to make successful entrepreneurs without being, without hurting anyone's sentiments or being biased, is because to be successful, you have to get up and own up to your mistakes.
I didn't say anything. She said it on air. You have to be a loser.
You have to, of course, and you have to be comfortable being the loser. That's more important because it's about a mindset. When people say success is measured in different terms, I say success is measured in your mindset. A successful mindset, whichever field you go, you will conquer it. Whether you want to do whether it's personal success, business success, it's financial success, it's even your social life success.
Right.
There are so many different streams. If you have a successful mindset, and a successful mindset has to come from having a healthy mindset, understanding that how do you handle success? First of all, we've always been trained to handle failure. How many people are really trained to handle success? Like, if you ask me, I didn't know how to handle success. So at 23, when I had, a really successful, what you say, like a goal, like you've completed one level, I didn't know how to enjoy it. You were conquering it all.
You were, yeah.
I just didn't know how to enjoy it. I just got up and I'm like, but understanding that, you worked for it, there have been downfalls, you've got up, you've had to motivate yourself. You've had a team who kept pushing you, your friends, your family, and then you enjoying in that moment rather than just jumping and be like, oh, next goal.
So don't take it for granted and enjoy each piece of success that comes your way, right?
I think sometimes we don't even, it's not on taking it for granted. I think sometimes we just don't know how to handle it. Like, if someone gives you a compliment, you are going to say thank you. A lot of people don't even know how to say. It's like if I tell you you're looking beautiful, they're like, really?
Really?
I don't think so. So constantly, attacking it, just accept what comes your way. So acceptance of even success is a huge mindset that you have to create because again, like they say, the energy you put out will come back to you. So if you're going to put out a successful mindset, it's going to bounce back.
What a wonderful answer.
For sure. And I think another very important characteristic that makes entrepreneurs very, very successful is their keen eye for learning and discovering new opportunities.
Yes.
We've spoken about it even previously.
Yes.
So how, Dubai, like I consider Dubai to be the most classic example of successful, a successful country. It was a desert and look what Dubai has done. So how you create challenges into opportunities is also very, very important.
Yeah, I love how you spoke about Dubai. You just sparked,
that
little
Dubai.
light in my eye just went like plump because I'm from here, right? So yes, and you were absolutely right. What beautiful answers, Dimple. We are talking everything about how can you actually set up a small business and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. So moving on with my guest. Now, along with the severe health and humanitarian crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic, executives around the world face enormous business challenges. The collapse of customer demand, significant regulatory modifications, supply chain interruptions, unemployment, economic recessions, and increased uncertainty everywhere. Now, what do we expect will be the post-pandemic culture of business, Dimple?
I completely believe that the post-pandemic culture is going to be online.
Okay.
It's about how you're going to create an experience online for your customer, because physically owning a store, or even if we walk into a mall or into a store, it has a lot of overhead expenses. So when you are doing business online, all those overhead expenses are getting cut off immediately.
Yes.
You know, so then what happens, you have a huge chunk of a budget that's left that you can now invest in creating an experience for your customers. Also we're not completely in a post-pandemic world as yet.
Absolutely.
You know, there are a lot of cases that are already breaking out. People are, you know, in a little bit of more fear because third wave is coming in different countries. So what really is going to happen is people still want to have a good experience, but they
Sure.
will not want to still go out and, you know, want to try new clothes or try new products. They will be a little scared.
People are still reluctant.
Exactly. So because of that, you have to adapt and go on and become an online world where it is customer friendly. And I think what's really interesting is that everyone's adapting to technology. So you want to try how an outfit looks, you can still do that online. Like they'll give you like a 3D image of how you look. You add your hair color, your eye color, your face structure, and then of course...
Go on, I'm shopping.
Yeah. And then of course you put on, you know, the garment you've selected, you put it on, and you know how you're looking. So that's a different experience by itself. So creating a user experience online is what I see the post-pandemic world to be like.
Right, right. I like how the answers, you know, it's just as is. And we are all moving towards that
Right.
side of the curve of business. And I think
Right.
many of us already know and are doing a lot of work online.
True.
Well picked up this one, and I'm almost done shopping. I'm almost done paying my bills now. So how can we manage our personal and our professional life in the day and age of social media? What do you want to talk about this?
I am definitely going to emphasize a little more on this because I have been a victim of Instagram, social media, and sometimes I just cannot, like I'm in between of, this has happened to me, I'm in between of a meeting and autopilot I've gone onto Instagram and I'm checking Instagram. And that's when I realized that, Dimple, you need to take a hold. So it's very,
Right.
very important you categorize when you can use your social media and when you cannot use your social media. So this is something you have to start training yourself, that in my personal time, I'm going to use this.
This is very difficult, you know, everything that
Trust
you're saying.
me, it's very
It's
difficult.
not very easy.
It's not very easy. But what you can do is you can, you know, set a timer. How we do for kids, you have only 10 minutes.
Interesting.
You know, like 10 minutes to probably go out and come back. So set a timer for yourself and give, the whole point is not to take away your downtime when you're on social media, but it's also important to understand that during business hours, let's not waste time because you start scrolling and you don't know when 1 hour is gone. So it's very, very important you categorize when you're going to use it for personal time, when you're going to use it, you're not going to use it for business time. But now that we are moving towards, like we mentioned, an online world, again, that becomes, you know, it's that midpoint where like I have to go onto social media for work, but then I again go back to just doing personal stuff. So even at that time, categorize. And what I started really doing is in my, you know,
Please share that.
I start, like if I was getting on to work and I knew I was getting distracted, I allowed myself to get distracted, but I told myself, okay, in 5 minutes you're going to get back to work. So you need to start setting these small ballpoint figures or you know, like marks for yourself where you are like, it's okay, there's no harm, there's no big deal if you know, just sway a little bit, but come back. So come back and know that it's important to segregate the two, no matter how intertwined our lives are today. And this is how you will start developing an habit to work, and when it's playtime, it's playtime.
I can't stop laughing. You're saying work and playtime, right? Where do I categorize my Instagram stories? My viewers bank on my stories.
So, you know, see, again, the profession depends. Like your profession,
absolutely,
like our professions call for
yeah.
it. But you know what I've started doing, honestly, when I go to an event or if I have to post something, my first 5 minutes I will dedicate to taking the pictures I need for my stories, because of course my viewers are excited to see what I want to do. So I will ensure that I will give myself that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, take your time. But after that, don't forget there's a different world sitting right next to you that you want to socialize with. You cannot just be antisocial and be like, oh, I'm posting for my viewers. But if you're not going to talk to someone on your left or your right, you're still antisocial. So this is what I do. And you know, I feel that it really started helping me, because I wasn't like in between, I wasn't like, oh, I haven't taken a story and I have to take a story randomly. So come in, soak yourself, experience it, give a 5, 10, 15 minute, depending of course on your speed, experience and how well you can now capture the vibe if you have to do stories, and then start enjoying where you are.
Lovely, lovely. Now, why are millennials and the Gen Z, my daughter's favorite word, going to take the small business world by storm? What are your ideas and your views, Dimple, on this tsunami of change in the way the next generation now will carry on as successful business entrepreneurs? I think this is a very important question.
Very important, also because I feel the age and time we are in, Gen Z, millennials, are very, very particular about sustainability, preserving the, you know, preserving the planet, global change. These small things that we feel they're really small things, but huge, huge. We don't realize when our planet is just going to give up on us, and probably,
oh dear,
you know, like we've seen deforestation, you know, pollution, we've seen fires, everything has been taking place. So I think millennials and Gen Z are very particular about sustainability. So everything that they try to do in their business involves getting new technology that will have sustainable results. And I think that is the biggest USP and much needed change that our planet needs. And it comes to them very effortlessly. I'm sure when you talk to your daughter, you just look and you're like, where did you learn this from? I don't know this about. So they just come with this innate knowingness, this knowledge that, you know, we are here to make a change. We will do it our way. And we are also, what I feel, they are very fearless. They don't think about what will happen if they fall or they fly. They just want to do it, fearless. They're like fearless, they're bold, they're always about sustainability, and they don't get scared to speak their mind. You could be a 60-year-old sitting, and if they have an opinion, they will be very clear, very vocal about it, as opposed to our generation. We'd be like, okay, you know, like maybe
we'll try and get the words right.
Correct. We'll try and be a little diplomatic. We'll even like push around, you know, he's my senior, maybe he knows better. They are like, it's not about the age. We know it, we will tell you, and we believe in it, and we will show it to you. So they make things happen. And what I've really noticed with them, even when I'm, you know, like counseling them or training them, is they don't procrastinate much. When they want to get it done, they'll just get it done. And I think that's very important for any person's personal goals, business goals. Procrastinating can take you back like 100 years. You know? So they are up there, ready to take risks, fearless, diving in, and all up for sustainability. So I feel these little things are their biggest USPs.
What a wonderful answer. And I love how you clubbed sustainability on top. You know, you put it in
Yes.
top order of this answer. And I'm just going to quickly shout out to all my viewers here watching us that please go down to the Expo 2020 and do hit the Sustainability Pavilion, because there's so much for everyone to see,
So
learn, and of course enjoy.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, I'm really happy you spoke about it. Now, incorporating spirituality, let's talk about this, into your business may be the key to success. We were talking about this.
Right.
Bringing spirituality into the business world is by no means part of an esoteric new age movement. In fact, it might just be the best kept secret to create fulfilling careers and thrive in business. Let's talk about this, Dimple, because I know this is very dear to your heart. Go for it.
Definitely, Rags. Thank you so much for bringing up this question, because it's something that I completely believe that spirituality is what will lead you to your own success. Because like we mentioned earlier, a successful mindset, how does that come? That comes by, you know, adopting, developing and learning how to bring balance, calmness, peace, shut off, let go. And at the same time, it's very important to be present where you are. I think a lot of us are so busy hustling that we don't even realize that we are stress breathing.
We were talking about this.
Exactly.
Hence, I had to chuckle.
Stress, you know, like we think we're breathing and we're breathing correct. No, you are stress breathing, and I can say that. And I'm like, you think you're breathing, but you're not. So it's so important to find your grounding. And when I mean grounding, I don't mean by the things around us, like, like home, our family, our friends, or, you know, what we believe grounding. It's our inner grounding, the state of going back and finding your, you know, your sense of peace, your calmness. You have a stressful situation, we cannot let it go. But how you deal in that stressful situation, these are tools that you will learn through, you know, spirituality. So also, I would like to mention that spirituality is not all about meditation, like sitting down and being calm. It's not. It's about how you are learning valuable life skill sets that you are going to come and bring it on your business table. It's how you're going to adapt through it. A team, you cannot, as a leader, would you motivate your team through anger, or would you do it, you know, through giving them the, giving them the time and the space and freedom to be who they are? I'm not saying it's
wonderful.
It's not wrong. It's wrong to get angry. It's not wrong to get angry. We are all humans. We all have emotions, but how we come out of it, how we navigate through it, is something that you will learn from your basis of spirituality. And there are lots of books, lots of speakers who actually fuse spirituality and business together. They teach you about it. And I would urge everyone over here, all the viewers, whether you're in a business, whether you're not, please go ahead, get into some form of spirituality to find your calm, balance, inner grounding, and most importantly, being in the present.
Wonderful. So I'm shopping, I'm in the present,
Yes.
I've gone green. Oh my God, there's a
Everything
lot.
in one.
And,
See,
and
you've
I've
done
kept
it.
my feet grounded and I've done it.
Exactly.
You are with your show host Rags. We are tuned into the Visual TV right now. This is my wonderful, no floss, all gloss, no gloss. Just kidding. Dimple Dhalwani from the Dimple Way. Please thank her later. Yes, this was such an amazing, interesting and a riveting interview. Thank you, Dimple, for being here. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.